Welcome everyone to course settings. Today I'm going to show you how to edit the settings of your course. So what you do is you log into the main course page. Mine for this purpose is Sandbox 43. I'm going to scroll down to the administration block and then click the settings button. As the page loads, you will see all the settings listed that you have access to change. So what's a required thing that you must do is you must edit your full name. So for training purposes, I'm just going to put Moodle Training Course. I can put a summary in here if I would like to. I don't have to. It's really up to the user. It doesn't show up on very many areas of the course, except for someone that's searching by category. If you do ever come into any questions about what this field is, if you just hit one of these blue question marks, a window will pop up and it will give you some help onto how to fill out that field or what is in it. So it's a very helpful tool, and that's built in. As we keep scrolling down, we get to another important field called Format. And within Format, click the drop down. There are 8 different types of formats. I recommend to not use the first 4 formats until you take a more advanced training Moodle course or you talk it out with the system administrator. The bottom 4 are ones that are acceptable to use and can be easily used right out of the box. The one that we have for default is Collapsed Topics, and I can show you what that looks like after the settings. But you can also pick a topics format, which does not have an ability to hide and close topics like the Collapse does, and you can do a weekly format. I'm going to stay with Collapsed Topics for our purpose. The next field, you have how many topics or weeks you want to appear on your screen. So some users might only need 5 topics they're covering, but some users might need 50 weeks. So it's depending on your circumstances. Course state, this is important, and you want to make sure that you set this to the date you think you're going to start your course with actual students in it. The reason being, if you're designing a course that's going to be used using the weeks format, then this will start you off on the right week and then break down the weeks for you automatically, which is a nice feature. Another important reason for all formats is if you start at the right time, then when you're doing reports or gradebook activities, the data that you can pull from those will be in the right month's time span. So that's something that you want to have set as close as you can. Then you have hidden sections. What you're allowed to do in Moodle is with any topic or week, you can click the eyeball and it will hide that section from the users. You'll still be able to see it as the editing teacher of the course, but the students and guests would not be able to see it. So you can actually choose whether you want it to be completely invisible or it will just show the topic outline, whatever topic you have for that section, or whatever the week it is, it'll just show it in a collapsed format. We're going to leave it invisible. This one is news items to show. You can choose how many news items in the news discussion forum you want to show on your main page. You can go from 0 to 5. I'm going to choose 1. Show gradebook to students. Most of the times you're going to leave this at yes. The students won't be able to see other users' gradebook, gradebook entries, but they will see theirs. And in most cases that's good, even if you really don't have any activities graded. Every course will have a course completion activity, so that's something that we want the students to be able to see. If you're not using your Moodle course for trainings and you're using it for some other type of reason, then maybe a gradebook might not be applicable to you and you can turn it off here. Activity reports, same thing as well. You have a yes/no feature. Maximum upload size is set at 500 megabytes. Don't worry if it changes or not. It's not a big deal. It'll always go back to the original. Metacourse field, there's more information in the fact that you can look up about what a metacourse is, and this is where you'd be able to change the setting from it is a metacourse or it's not. In all cases, I would choose no here until you do some more research and decide that this is the way you want to go. The next section we have are enrollments. The enrollment plugins and default role are going to stay the same here. The course enrollable, this is an actually very important one here not to miss in between these start dates and the roles. The course enrollable is default set at no. Well, that doesn't mean that your users won't be able to be enrolled in the course. What it means is that this students will not be able to enroll, or guests will not be able to enroll into your course on their own. So you want that set at no if that's what you want. Now, if you do have parents that are going to access the site as a guest, or you want them to take and do some activities or some situation like that, you could set the course to be enrollable and then set a start or end date or leave it unlimited and then allow them to enroll into it on their own using their own email address. This goes with the enrollment. If you choose to do that, you can notify the students when their enrollment time is about to end. So if it's set to unlimited, this wouldn't be a factor, but if you gave a specific time, then this is where you would do that. Next section is groups. You can say that you want no groups, separate groups, or visible groups. This field does not create groups for you. What it does is it gives you the option to say, I don't want groups in my course, or I want my groups to be separate where they only see the people in their group set and the activities assigned to their group. Or you can say, I want visible groups where the users are still in groups, but they're allowed to go browse around and view everybody's participation and activities. You can, there's no really settings here, yes or no, it doesn't really matter. I just leave those there. As soon as you create groups, then you can go in here and change which one you want. Availability. This is a very key concept in the edit settings. Availability allows you as a editing teacher of a course to hide this course from your students. They can be enrolled and everything can be ready to go, but maybe your training is not for a specific date and you don't want them to see the course yet. Or you're not finished with the course, but you want to go ahead and get that enrollment piece figured out while you're finishing up your course. You can set this to not available to students and they will not be able to see the courses. If you want, at the time it is ready and now it's available, then you want to say the course is available to students. Another thing that you can do is if you want guests to be allowed in, you will set this to available to students. And you can set the field to allow guests without a key, so anybody can just come into your site and view things that you have. Guests, don't have the ability to participate in activities, but they will be able to view things if you want that. Or you can say guests to have a key, so if you want people to come in and view things, but you don't want anyone to do it, you can provide a key and you can send that to them in an email or give them a phone call and tell them what the key is, and once they put that in, the key that you specify here, they can view your class as a guest. The last section here is role renaming. It's a pretty interesting one. What it allows you to do is throughout Moodle they have roles that everybody is given. So you have your administrator role, you have your teacher role, which is what most of the users will be that are in these settings. You have your student role, which is not necessarily a student, it's just someone that is a user in your class, someone that will be participating in the activities being trained. And then you have a guest, that's anybody that does not have a login account, and they can view whatever you allow them to, or not allow them to. And then you have authenticated user. It's a little above guest in the chain. That just means once you're logged in, that's what you have access to. So what you can do here with that quick little overview is you can actually type in your own fields here. So for teacher, I can put facilitator, and for students, I can put trainees. So that way, when anytime these words come up throughout my individual course, it will replace it with these words. So it's an interesting thing that you can mess around with and see which works best for you. So once I'm done with everything, I'm going to make sure that I hit the Save Changes. Now that you can see, you can already notice some of the changes that I made. I switched my topics from 10 to 5, and you can see that right here. And then a few of the things won't